Do you ever have those lessons that you learn over and over again? Those moments when you look up to God or around at God and do what I like to call a spiritual eye roll? Do we have to do this again? I thought I already learned that lesson. Well, for me in the past year, that lesson that keeps surfacing has been that change is a constant. And perhaps for my process theology friends, God is actually consistent with the idea of change. In fact, it is impossible to separate out the creator from the creating and transforming power that exists in our world. We've all experienced massive changes in our lives in the past year. Many of us have navigated working from home, schooling our children from home. We've navigated worship in a new way. We've redefined social expectations. We've refrained from hugging and being physically connected in the way that we're used to. And so when I feel that familiar pull to resist the change that is looming, I have found it helpful to remember that change is inherent to life itself. Remembering that change is inherent in all we do, that change is inherent to the Spirit, doesn't necessarily make it any easier, but it does make me feel a little less alone. The past year, we've really learned the importance of community. We've learned how to adapt and grow, even when it seems impossible. And we, the conference board of directors, your elected leaders, have been facing many of the same challenges. When the pandemic hit, we shifted quickly to online board meetings, relying less on sharing physical space to get things accomplished, and more on technology like Zoom and Basecamp and emails to remain connected, transcending space in a new way. And as an added benefit, we quickly began to see how much more accessible we were as a board. Things like geographical location and physical limitation were mitigated as we found our strength through our online meetings. The board has been busy at work on the things that we have been tasked to do, from properties to the care of our beloved Pilgrim Pines, budgeting to seeking to better support our local clergy, making statements on important justice issues, to making sure that we have empowered leaders in critical roles. There is no shortage of things that have been accomplished this year. But as you might imagine, the thing that has taken the most time and energy is the fitness review that began earlier this year for our conference minister, Reverend Felix Villanueva, and his protracted leave of absence. Although our board was not responsible for the fitness review, we had to navigate leadership in his absence and maintain our vision and dedication to the work at hand. We were extremely blessed to have retired Associate Conference Minister Libby Tigner step up as our acting conference minister. She has led us in inspiring ways, and she has kept us all motivated and has delicately balanced being a pastor to all of us, while also making sure that important administrative tasks are checked off. Under her leadership, our staff, Rudy, Chris, Virginia, Stella, Al, Mary, our consultants, Lee and Keith, have shown us time and time again their dedication to our conference. I'm very grateful for all of their hard work, especially over these last several months, which have been more hectic and uncertain than usual. And of course, perhaps the biggest change of all is the recent announcement of the Reverend Dr. Felix Villanueva's retirement. In his tenure with us, Felix brought a creative way of looking at ministry. He brought a belief in and affirmation of the skills that our clergy possess. And we are very grateful for the ministry that we have done together over the years. Change is indeed inevitable. We've been adapting, growing, and giving up our commitment to the way things used to be. We've been forced. Okay, let's be a bit more generous. We have been invited by the Spirit to reimagine what things can look like as we move forward. I'm not going to say that this is an easy time in our conference, but I have been reminded over and over again of the amazing people that make up the Southern California Nevada Conference of the United Church of Christ. From the leaders on the board to the leaders who have planned this amazing event, shout out to all of you, by the way, Kevin, Jessica, Rachel, Dave, Shannon, Ken, Jessica, Lee, Megan, Rudy, Lee, and Mitchell. Thank you. Over the past year, I've been amazed by knowing that each of our churches around the conference have clergy that have been innovative and creative and pushing the boundaries and asking new questions. And the people in the pews or on the computer screens are participating and trying things in a different way. It's been inspiring. And so, yes, there have been times when we have looked to God and asked, why can't things just be the way they were? But we've been told in our scripture time and time again that God is always doing a new thing. God's presence is what can sustain us when everything else feels up in the air. I'm so excited to figure out what new thing is here in our conference. Over the next year, we will be developing our board of directors. We'll be enhancing our structure and empowering leadership from different social locations, leaders from our big steeple churches and our small, vibrant churches, leaders who come from different racial backgrounds, leaders who have different gender identities and sexual orientations, leaders from Nevada all the way down to San Diego. We will be leaning into the newness that is on the horizon. We will be reassessing what the conference's purpose is, working on our mission and vision. We will be identifying a transitional conference minister and ultimately a settled conference minister, and many more exciting endeavors. My hope in the coming year is that the board of directors and the conference as a whole will not feel like some far away entity that has nothing to do with your daily life in the local church. No, my hope is that instead, the conference will be an integral part in supporting the local church, that we can celebrate ministry partnerships from different levels of church life, and that we can rely on our God and our fellow disciples to truly make a difference in the world around us. Although I've had to learn that lesson of change over and over again this year, and I'm guessing you have too, I'm grateful for each of you who make it so very worth it. When we rest in the knowledge that God is with us as we move and grow, I think we can certainly be more open to the ways that we are able to flourish in love. Thank you.